Because dang.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. My bad.
Look, we lost this game. I'm not happy about it. This would have been a great game to have George Pickens, but of course we shipped him off to Dallas. So you're welcome, Mike, because love that for y'all.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying, I'm salty about a lot of things. There are just some things that need to be reworked.
You just said that you were happy for him.
I'm happy for him. I'm not happy for me.
Well, you can hear that in her tone. She not happy about it.
Like, why would you want to see? Because to me, I thought he was great. One of your really good players on your team go having a ball with somebody else. Why would you want to see that?
You know, when y'all got Metcalf, you thought y'all would be all right.
I actually was not super excited about that move, but
was
it's
you
one
excited
of those
about
things.
Aaron Rodgers?
No.
All right, so you wasn't excited
wasn't.
about Aaron Rodgers, but you complaining that he wasn't playing yesterday.
Yes, because he's still better than Mason Rudolph.
Okay.
But as a backup, I'm not mad because that's kind of the expectation that I had.
You are,
but
mad
like I
'cause
said,
you're banging the table.
No, I just react very expressively.
You know what that
doesn't
sound
mean
like when she brings pictures
anger.
up? Is when a female boyfriend get a new girl and he's like, if that's who he's happy with, if they just happy like that, you know, they can
inflections in her voice.
They can just be happy, but if that's the type of thing he likes, I wasn't willing to do all that. So
I can't even disagree because that is exactly how I feel. But it is what it is. Okay, love that for y'all. For us, it's unfortunate.
This is not good.
It's okay.
Because they could see
for now. For right now, I know they can see me because other Steelers fans know where my head is at. They know how I'm feeling because we all understand. It's an understanding that we all get.
It's still home.
It's still home.
Okay. You're not in the portal.
No. That can never, ever, ever, ever happen.
You know what they're gonna do to you, Stat? When the Ravens fly past you, now they're just right above you, but when they fly past you, I think we just need to put up the picture of Stat in the Ravens jersey.
Oh, no.
She's in the portal.
Nope. I'm not in the portal. My team is still my team. But it's a loss. A loss that I don't like, but it happens. That's all I'm going to say there. Okay, moving along, because I loved that topic so much. Shaduer made his first NFL start, beating the Raiders 24-10. Mike, how do you think things were looking for the Browns?
I think for his first NFL start, and we start talking about he had his first reps with the first team, getting the first opportunity. That was an incredible performance. You can say what you will. That means you have that much time truly to prepare. Not like you prepare all season going up against and going with the first unit. That was incredible because I gotta say that's the worst that he'll be. He is literally an infant playing. That's the worst he's going to be. So I thought, as big as that game, the moment in that game, all that was around that game, and the little work and opportunities he had to put in work, I thought it was phenomenal performance. And he made some mistakes and everything was not perfect. But when you start talking distance travel, that amount of time, and to look at his performance, I thought it was phenomenal.
Man,
they got the win, and they got the victory.
I think if somebody would have told us, what is this, week 12 that we're at? Week 12? Yeah, on week 12 that Shaduer will be starting and they will win by 14 points. I think everybody should be happy because it looked like at the top of this season that he was never going to play. So, and it looked like they did everything for Shaduer not to play. So every stride that he gets is going to be monumental. It's going to be history breaking. And I'm looking forward to him getting like phenomenally better every single game. I'm thinking that by the end of this season that they'll be secure that he's the quarterback of the future. And if that's all that we take away from this season, I think is well worth it. You know, that he'll be the QB1 going forward for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, listen, I went to the game. It was beautiful to watch, man. Shout out to Coach Prime, me and Coach Prime seeing each other. It was a beautiful thing to watch, man. And like Mike said, that week makes a difference. Even though it's only a week, you can see a difference from last week to this week. It was really good. I think he would have had a way better game, even though he played exceptional. Stat-wise, you know, when he first got that first open pass, 53-yard pass down the field, the receiver got tripped up at the 1-yard line. So, you know, that may have been another touchdown. Then he got another probably 40-yard, 45-yard pass down the field. Then Jerry Jeudy want to do some stutter step shit and fucking fumble the football, which could have put them probably on the 20-yard line from the 50-yard line. So it was some other mistakes from other players that wasn't necessarily his fault that made his numbers look good. But when you're watching the game, like I got to watch the game, this kid checked all the boxes on the eye test, everything. He looked phenomenal, man. So congratulations to him. Congratulations to the Sanders family. I know they've been waiting for this for a long time. Secondly, Cleveland fucking defense, bro. Yo, my nigga, dumb niggas, yo. They were scaring me from my seat. Tell motherfuckers, Myles Garrett and them niggas is not no joke. They had 10 sacks. Pause. 10 sacks on Geno Smith. 10. Them niggas are scary if this continues. And we know that it was the Raiders, so we're not putting much stock into it. But if they could get at least half of what the defense puts out on offense, then Cleveland will be all right, man. If Shaduer plays as good as he played yesterday, and that defense from Cleveland, they will be all right, because that defense is scary. That's first and foremost. Secondly, rather. Lastly, I don't know exactly the surrounding players that were in Seattle when Pete Carroll was there and Geno Smith was there, but they didn't look half bad. This looks terrible, man. This looks really terrible for Pete Carroll and Geno Smith. Listen, like I said, we was there, man. Shout out to Church, shout out to Nick. Cousin Bang, we went up there, and shout out to Coach Brown. The stadium was booing so loud for Geno Smith. The boos was crazy. Every time it was 3 and out, it didn't necessarily even have to be 3 and out. Every time they didn't convert on third down, the boos were out of control. I'm like, God damn, that gotta feel so bad when you're at home and you're getting booed to that capacity. I don't know what happens moving forward, but it can't be good. That was very, very bad. And I'm big fan of Pete Carroll, one of the few coaches who won professionally and on the collegiate level. It's only 2 other coaches that did that. And I thought Geno was on to something in Seattle. This does not look good for either one of them whatsoever.
Yeah, I'll just say that the Raiders are in just a real weird position just to begin with, because I know I was at the game too and people were booing Geno, but it's also like they don't have another option. Like they have Kenny Pickett now, which I didn't even realize when I thought about it, that trade that had happened, and they have Aiden O'Connell and he has an injury as well. So it's just like they are just put in bad circumstances, and it's unfortunate because it also just goes down to the players and somebody like Geno Smith. So I can't even say hope they figure it out, because I don't even know what their solution would be. So all I'm gonna say is good luck to them. That's what I will say. Okay, now you gotta get to Jameis Winston and the Giants. They couldn't beat the Lions, losing 34-27 in overtime. Mike, what did you think of that game?
Well, I love watching Jameis Winston go get his touchdown. You see the athleticism and all of that, and watch him have some success in playing and throwing the football. But now the reality is that game really was about Detroit. And are they going to fight back and come back and get that win? And they did. And now you're starting to hear, when you hear around this time of the year, the teams that get ready to go on those runs, you start hearing about teams that are picking up, like either running well or from the running back position, like what Gibbs are doing. Now they're starting to say, oh, he's putting up Barry Sanders-like numbers, or like what Indy was doing with Jonathan Taylor, with Indy. But yeah, Detroit needed to get back on track, and they did. And that was a great game. I thought New York played a great game. They did a lot of tricky stuff, a lot of funny stuff. Everybody had fun. Even Jameis went and got a touchdown. But Detroit did what they needed to do in the end and found a way to win, like a tough Dan Campbell team.
Yeah.
I love Jameis Winston, man. I do. That boy can sing the ball. He talks good. I'm just trying to think, like, why the fuck you can't catch a fucking break, man? That nigga stole them crab legs in Publix. Them fucking crab legs, man. Can't steal, man. What they say, murder? If what your mother say, if you steal, you rob. If you lie, you steal.
If you steal, you rob. If you rob, you murder.
You kill.
And if you kill. You remember what our coach used to say?
Our coach had a remix on it. Our coach said, if you lie, you steal. If you steal, you rob. If you rob, you kill. And if you kill, you suck dick.
We like, what?
Where did that come from?
Where did that go?
Where did that come from?
Yeah,
Super
I
Bowl.
see what he said. I just called it.
Yo, super.
Yeah.
Super.
I just called it. Wait, mate, Cam, wait. What coach meant was, when you go to jail, bro, you're gonna be doing some things. Don't be messing around. I just caught what coach was talking about. Okay, bro.
Yeah. Our coach was wild, man.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty good.
He gave you real life in real time.
That's a fact. But
Yeah.
look, I thought the Giants played really well. Like Mike said, the nigga Jameis Winston had a receiving touchdown and looked good as a receiver. They fought a nigga over, nigga tried to attack, get the fuck off me, nigga. Stepped up in the end zone, it was cool. But the real thing I looked at was, I'm not sure if Malik Neighbor said it, I'm not sure. But one of the players for the Giants said something that made me look that it may start a fucking investigation in the NFL behind this shit that he said. These niggas had it to where they could have kicked the field goal, where it was like about 35 seconds left. Something crazy. It was like on the 20, 15 yard. There's in the red zone, and it was a fourth down, and fourth and goal. With like 35, 40 seconds, and they tried to score a touchdown. Now I get it. You don't want to give the team the ball back to try and get up the field and tie it with a field goal. But at least they would have that would have been an opportunity because it went into overtime anyway. And then they made some really wild decisions, and Neighbors was like, yo, are we trying to lose games on purpose? He deleted his tweet. He tweeted the shit, and then he deleted it. But I was looking at the shit like, so I'm not bugging. What kind, I know it's an intern coach. He like, let's take a chance. It don't really matter. I probably won't be the head coach next year. But you got to win games. And you're not Dan Campbell to be taking these chances like that. Dan Campbell is a nigga who takes a lot of chances, and he pays. I think last week they was 0-5 on fourth down. Look, my nigga, you're intern coach. Try and keep the fucking job, my nigga. Try, at least they don't know exactly who's coming in next year unless they do and they're not telling us yet. But they made some really bad decisions coaching-wise, my opinion, to where the Giants lost this game. Lions, I don't know, week to week it is what it is with them niggas. They looked really dominant last year, the year before last, to where the year before last you was like, next year they could win the Super Bowl. Then when the season started, you like, yo, the Lions are going to the Super Bowl. Then they didn't go to the Super Bowl. And we know they had some injuries to start the season off, so on and so forth, but a lot of stuff that Dan Campbell tried to pull off, pulled off last year, the last couple of years, hasn't necessarily worked this year. So Lions look decent yesterday coming back against the Giants, but it's the Giants.
That is that.
You don't want to put no credit on the Giants?
Nah, fam, they 2-10.
That's that. I do want to ask you about this Malik Neighbors tweet because was a tweet.
so it was.
Yeah. I want to read
exactly.
it though. Yeah, because I'm curious on more of y'all's thoughts on it. So he said,
no, it wasn't bugging.
Yeah, he said sometimes I think they'd be making us lose on purpose because it's no way, bro. You throw the ball instead of running it to make them burn 2 timeouts. Then you don't kick the field goal. Then they have to go down and score. Football common sense. So I do want all of y'all to elaborate on that tweet a little bit more. And then, what are your thoughts on him tweeting it and then deleting it actively on a football team roster playing? Like, how'd you feel about that, Mike?
And I'm glad you brought it back up because I wanted to tap in when Cam talked about it, because I was honestly, it's these analytics and all of this junk with going forward a lot on 4th down and going forward in those positions. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Tonight, I'm sitting in that box. When Brian Schottenheimer didn't kick that field goal, 4th down, the same thing, score a tie. Came back 21-21. They could have kicked the field goal 24. They went for 4th down and didn't get it before Philly started driving. So I'm saying the same thing. Stop reading and stop telling me what analytics says and tell me what you're seeing on the field, and just for this case, like if you've been down 21, the option to see yourself in front, that's over. That's bigger than analytics to me. I needed the team and, to see that stuff like that. And they make these decisions that I don't know how even analytics say do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kick the field goal. Kick the field goal. Go kick the ball off and play defense. Stop trying to outthink yourself. I call that stuff smart dummy. Those are smart dummies. You're outsmarting yourself and you end up losing games more often than not. That's what I say to it.
Mike, when it comes to football common sense, right? When you hear somebody make that term, do you think this is one of those statements that can end up in an investigation? Because that's what I'm thinking. If somebody on a team is saying this could very well turn real sour really fast, pause, for that entire organization, especially where sports are now with betting and things like this. When I'm hearing these statements, it is a real alarming statement.
What do you mean? What you mean? A statement when he said, when who said what?
When his tweet is that.
Yeah, basically Mase is saying when he say they're making us lose on purpose, do you think this could turn into an investigation to be looked at?
Yeah, if somebody's saying you're making us lose, they're making us lose on purpose. Who's making you lose on purpose?
That's
a loaded statement.
Right, and I'm sure that's why they made him take it down right away. Now you're disparaging the league, and you got inside information, and people start believing. Yeah, that's a dangerous tweet. But I'm sure he's talking about just decisions. I don't know that like I wasn't talking about a grand scheme. I'm talking about just decisions, because somebody tell you the odds are better this way over that way. But the person that is purely doing the odds are just going by what happens with the numbers. And you have to read the scene in those situations. If your team has been fighting from behind and you want your team now to see at least, okay, you go up. And you know what I mean? Stuff like that matters mentally, that I think overrides the analytics of what people always try to come up with.
Well, I brought the statement up, but to me, Murder,